Yeah, hi. Welcome back to our podcast. We are on the fifth episode of Founders Faux. Thanks a lot, Ashutosh, for coming on. Great to have you back. You said that I taught you one session online. We are looking at this online medium right now. So Ashutosh is young serial entrepreneur. He's on to his second venture right now. He's making sustainable printer paper, and one of the customers right now is IIM. So we'll probably listen to his story in terms of how did he get into this, how he has started, nurtured, and gaining traction over the last few years. So welcome, Ashutosh. Why don't you tell us a bit about your journey, entrepreneurial journey, before maybe
Yeah,
right from your BBA days as well?
absolutely. Thank you so much, sir, for having me here. I think it's always great to be part of the campus that you got some knowledge out of, and it's really exciting and definitely an honor. So BBA, yeah, that was actually the most exciting time I think for any business student when they are in their BBA. More than theory or looking at their CIAs or assignments, they start thinking of B plans, right?
Yeah,
I think I myself would have come up with almost 20, 30 business plans, whatever it may be, if it was feasible or not. But just for the sake of brainstorming, we would do that a lot. And it was actually even my co-founder is from the same class. But yeah, I'll get on to that later. And BBA is when I started my first venture. I was in my third year. And my cousin approached and said, let's start a business where his mother used to make these instant foods for him to carry when he travels to Japan and Korea. He used to travel a lot to the Far East. And being a vegetarian was so tough for him. So his mom made some instant foods, and all his colleagues started asking for it.
okay.
So when one day in a function he said, "You know what? Let's start this as a business. There is definitely a need, and there's probably a few key players, MTR and Mayas. I think there's room for more." That was the idea. So we started a company called Express Feast right from when I was in college, and the idea was you add just water and you have preservative-free homemade meals anywhere on the go, right? And
This was a flash dried or
yeah, not freeze dried, but this was more of roasted. You remove the moisture by roasting. That's it. We
okay.
didn't do any freeze drying process. It was just add hot water or add water and cook.
So it's very slow
Yeah.
process of
Not so
heating.
it is fast. Few used to get done by 8 minutes, few
Oh,
takes
it is?
about 10,
Okay.
20 minutes. So if even these are natural home methods actually. If you
Okay,
see, you
didn't
can
know
make
that.
dry poha at home. Just add hot water, you have poha that's edible. So it's something that was there from before. And that was my first venture along with my cousins. It did well. We got onto a few good companies like Indigo Flights, and we were serving our.
May have eaten
Yeah,
sabudana if it was on the menu. I would have
yeah,
certainly asked for it.
would have definitely been there. In fact, when I used to travel, I used to see people next to me or in front of me eat it. And I'm like, okay, that's nice. What's your feedback? It was a good. It was a good venture.
So it was just out of the blue, your cousin saying,
Yeah,
let's start.
yeah,
And
yeah.
without a thought,
No,
you just leaped in.
I just leaped in. I just
Okay.
leaped in. I didn't know what else to do. I wanted to do a business, but I saw this to be a great, and they're great people actually, and it was a good chance for me to be mentored with them. So that was one of the key factors why I started that business with them. Post which I came out of that company. Uh,
It's doing well. It did well.
yes, yes. In fact, they were on Shark Tank season one also.
Okay.
Yeah, it's doing well. It has its own audience. It's doing quite well. Then I came out of that, and I was in the YLP program in IMB. Had a lot of insights there, and during the YLP program is where all this started, but not necessarily into what I am doing right now. So, to give you a bit of the story on my current journey, me and my co-founder, we're both from Christ. We know each other from childhood, from school
How is
days.
it? Okay.
Both of us. We graduated from the same college as well. And we were just having coffee one day, and we wanted to just start something. I had come out of this. He was in his family business and he was part-time working in one corporate gifting firm. And I think let's do something. So you believe it or not, sir, we started this business, this company was formed without any idea what we were going to sell or serve. We just said, let's start a company first. Then we'll figure out
So you
what
went and
next.
registered.
We did register. We started exploring a few products, and we had a few because I was in the FMCG space. Some people started asking me for distribution of unique products, right? Some stevia based products. Someone came up with an energy drink, and so the idea was to take unique products and start distributing them. So we named our company Bun Pie.
Bun pie.
Bun Pie. Bun Pie literally means distribute in Japanese.
Oh, okay.
So we just named our company Bun Pie, and we started taking a few other products and started doing business with that. And in this journey, we found a interesting product called these plantable pencil seed books. So the idea was once you use your pencil, you can put it in the soil and grow a plant. And it had ladyfinger, tomato, cucumber, all kitchen, kitchen plants. And we started with these products. We supplied to Infosys, SAP,
Oh, you
EY.
did sell them.
We did good quantities as a startup. It was less than 2-3 months, and we did good numbers. In fact, we were one of the very first to start this in Bangalore. But what we realized was EY would not buy the same product again because it was given as a gift. It was a
Okay.
novelty. So all that effort of getting into such big corporates and then they buy it once and not again, we said, why can't we bring sustainability into an everyday use product, right? And we started observing that A4 paper, printed paper was being used in abundance, not just in corporates. It was COVID time after that, right? And we saw hospitals using it so much. And that's when we said, okay, let's do something where, it's an everyday use. You sell it to the client once,
And you recur, sales happen.
that makes a lot more sense. So we did a lot of R&D. We got this product introduced to the market. We gave it to one client, one diagnostic center for 6 months. We did not go anywhere else because what if the printer gets damaged in other places? So we didn't know how much this would perform.
So what did you do? Did you started making it yourself, or did you buy something off the shelf and to see
Right.
whether there's a market?
So actually, sir, we didn't buy this off the shelf. We worked with a manufacturer. So a paper mill who we knew through a close contact, we worked with him and got this product
Made.
got done. Yeah, made.
Wow.
So this is a
But
very
this is a batch product, right? You would have to give them a certain quantity of production.
correct. We did take a quantity, but we
Okay.
kept it in inventory and just gave it to one client.
Okay.
We did take that risk. We did take
But
that.
did you do some experiments? Did you talk to some experts before you got this product?
Uh,
How did you even understand? Because
Yeah.
you were selling poha and
Yeah.
sabudana,
Yeah.
and then you are selling pencils,
Right.
which would be regenerated into plant.
Correct.
And now you're suddenly looking at a paper from a market point of view, made sense that you sell once and then there are
Yes.
recurrent sales happen if it's successful.
Yes.
But for each of these products, the first one, at least it's homegrown. The technology mother was already making it.
Yeah.
The pencils are not
Right.
really
Yeah.
rocket science. You could figure
Correct.
something out. But this is a little bit of technology, right? A little bit of research.
It is. So actually, I would say we're the right place at the right time. The mill owner who came up with this product with us, he had actually done a lot of R&D for about 6 years to try something here. And he's a pure manufacturer. He didn't want to be in the marketing and put a brand and this thing. He just kind of half created a product with a few variations.
But did you all know that earlier before you went to him?
No. We did ask him and he said, okay, we have this and let's work on this together. So we did work with him together. We tweaked a lot of it.
Was it the first manufacturer you reached out to?
He is known to us.
Oh, he's known to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's known to us. So it was a common channel.
Okay.
So we worked with him and we got this citation. So what's so unique about ours, even though there were other recycled papers in the market, was ours was naturally white without any bleaching. So if you see in other recycled papers, it comes either in a brown color or a little grayish color, right? In our paper, even though it's completely recycled, it is a little off-white. It is more soothing to the eye. and this happened without bleaching. So this is where
How is it possible? So that's something that these people have done.
Yes, we did it together, and it was
Okay.
mostly goes into the segregation and the use of the raw material.
So the raw material is the kind of raw material that you're using.
Yeah.
Okay. It's more pristine.
It's more pristine.
Okay.
It is segregated, highly segregated, and we recycle that, and we get this natural color without adding any chemicals to it.
Oh, so this is because paper industry is also an extremely polluting industry because of the bleach, right?
Yeah.
And also taking off the cellulose, is that
Absolutely, it is. De-inking is very harmful. If you have to de-ink paper, you have to put in so many chemicals. You have to make paper white, you have to add over 18 bleaching chemicals. And if not treated properly, it does go into our rivers and agricultural fields, kind of pollutes that environment. So it is a polluting industry. This is where we thought we'll have better impact of, giving paper that is non-bleached.
okay?
Yeah, that's where
But this pulp is where? Where does the pulp come from?
all recycled paper. So we take waste from packaging industries. So let's say for packaging, you have a die cut, right? So there's a lot of excess around the edges. So we take those.
Cartons, you mean?
Cartons, not those cartons. I mean mono cartons.
Okay.
Let's say a medicine box maybe, right? So there'll be non-printed areas which gets cut out. And when you make textbooks, the excess edges, which are again non-printed,
Oh, okay.
so we take
Got it.
that, and yeah, we take these kind of waste and we recycle.
So these are all non-printed, but in tinier
But wastage.
wastage. Okay.
So
So they were earlier being pulped together with ink
yeah,
products. So now you've separated them out and created a product just using these waste materials.
yes.
So, okay, which is a largest resource for you all in terms of raw material?
It's packaging industry, sir.
Okay.
Largest.
And they're happy that you're picking it up from them?
Absolutely. That's one of their revenue streams. When we buy waste out of that's a big revenue stream for them also. Not just packaging. Second comes our publishing, where they make textbooks or notebooks and they have the edges trimmed off again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we have a lot of corporate shredded paper that we take. We do take a lot of old school notebooks, not necessarily
Well, how do you aggregate all of this? These are so dispersely done, right?
Yep. So
is there an aggregator that you go to, or you're doing it yourself?
No, actually, we do take waste, but only in bulk quantities. In our startup, we don't have the bandwidth to collect a lot of waste because we have to send it in bulk. But when we take different types of waste, they go into different purposes of recycling, not necessarily into making only our paper. Now, for example, if we take newspapers, we can make newspaper pencils for our product.
Yes.
Right, and we do take a few other variants where we make a little slightly lesser GSM notepads, maybe. So we kind of segregate each paper for different purposes and then we recycle it.
Okay. So now that you had your product, how did you start convincing people that here is something that you need to buy?
Initially, it was a lot of knocking on doors and going to known people. Of course, the awareness on sustainability had built. People were seeing, okay, if there's any other option for me to implement some sustainable alternatives. So easiest was paper. So let's say you have to do some kind of a water STP or some rainwater harvesting. It involved a lot of investments, right? If you want to do solar and all. But now as a company, everybody wants to go carbon neutral, right? Apple has set that trend and they want to, the Paris Climate Accords, they've signed few of the Fortune 500s. And when you look at the SDG goals, again, by 2030, companies, individuals, organizations want to adhere to more and more SDGs, right? So for them, this became a good switch as the first switch.
Easy switch.
Easy switch. It was in the same price point. It was a sustainable alternative and it shows some change in the organization. So I think it was far more easier for us to start asking people. So even now, if before when we started the business, we had to make a lot of calls and tell them we do recycled paper and approach. But now it's become so this thing that people search for recycled paper and Rescript kind of shows up and then they approach us.
So this is Rescript.
Rescript. That's the name of the
So
brand.
what happened to that previous venture where you said distribute? The
Banpai
Japanese
is the
Banpai.
Banpai is the name of the company. We
Oh,
are
Banpai is the
still Banpai India Private Limited as a company,
Okay.
but Rescript is the brand that we launched for our stationery products.
So you have been successful in all the initiatives that you have started, right?
Yeah, in a way.
So what would be probably, let's say, one of the significant capabilities as a salesman?
Significant capabilities.
Because a lot of people refuse to
Yep.
do things because they're much more comfortable working on the product, building
Correct.
features than trying to sell,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
But a significant success of an entrepreneur depends on how your ability to go and sell, which you seem to be doing in all your ventures.
I think even from the first venture I started, I leveraged a lot on networking. It was a big catalyst for me. So I joined networking organizations. There was BNI, which you would have heard of, Business
Yes.
Networking International. There were a few community-based networking for me. I actually did a lot of my sales there, where people gave me feedback. They started and kind of boosted my confidence also. Uh, that's where my sales trajectory would initiate, and then we would build on leads, we would build on uh, you know any kind of generation. Yeah.
Okay. But so for this paper, it was a little easier for you to sell than your other products.
Initially people were not accepting the color. Few have even said like, "Ye kya ganda paper like that time," but I wouldn't say a lot. I think 8 out of 10 sales pitches have always gone great, so I'm not going to complain. It was, of course, better than any other product.
So if you were to look at your product right now,
Yeah.
there is sufficient success right
Yeah.
now, right? Who all are buying your products?
So right now, we're supplying to good names would be Indian Oil Corporation. We have JP Morgan. We have selling to Wipro, DMart, and we recently signed on with Hero MotoCorp, Munjal Group, and Castrol recently onboarded us. IIM, of course, and ISB has also started taking our paper. So these are a few.
So was some kind of a snowballing effect that decided to get a
Yeah.
marquee customer first
Yeah.
and then get others? So who was the first one you tried selling to?
First one we did for A-Star hospitals initially, and we did do Wipro was one of our initial corporate clients.
So, okay, let me probably like step back a bit
Yeah.
and go back to your early days in terms of now you started working with this person
Yeah.
who was extremely happy that
Yeah.
you came along
Yeah.
because his expertise was in manufacturing
Yeah.
and coming up with a product that's
Yeah.
acceptable by the market, but he didn't like going and putting it out in front of customers.
Yeah.
That's where you all came in,
Yes.
right? So, how did you all then convert this product into a market?
So yeah, so like I told you, when we first started taking the product, we did go to small steps, right? We during COVID, we tried schools, but schools were closed. We went to corporates, corporates were closed. So we saw the only functioning industry that
Institution
was
was hospital.
hospital, and we went all out on hospitals. So you would name it, every neighborhood hospital we went, started knocking on doors, and we said we'll give it to you at 5 or 10 rupees lesser. And we started with Columbia Asia then. Then after they converted to Manipal, I haven't been able to crack it. But Columbia Asia started buying.
They were the first to buy.
One of the first hospitals to buy from us, and we had a Shanti hospital also. It gave us a lot of confidence that the paper is being accepted, right? And
So,
yeah,
what number was Colombia in terms of knocking doors? This was your fifth, fourth,
Yeah.
10th, 30th, what?
somewhere in the top 5.
Well, somewhere in the top 5.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you didn't have to lose confidence. This was last.
No.
You don't have this story where you just were giving up and
No.
the last door you knocked and that.
Again, this happened through BNI, right? So it was a referral connect. So when there's a referral, there's a little more
Legitimacy gets established.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's where our selling started. And yeah, so you asked how we created that market. Rather, with paper, we did start getting more clients. Then we started different products in the same thing. We started notebooks. We started journals. And with notebooks, we went to schools and schools teach so much about environmental education, and children are so aware. So in few stores that we've had kept before, they used to come and say, you know what, I want to introduce this in my school. I want to go to my principal's cabin and tell her that she has to switch to this kind of paper.
So you had ambassadors.
We had ambassadors, and they were so happy to take it. So we started creating a market with schools, and now we're catering to about 25 schools as
Wow.
of this year. And corporates wanted to give different journals. Swiggy was one of the first ones who.
What journal?
We make journals for corporates where they give it as their onboarding kits
Okay.
for employees.
So kids, so whoever fresh joinees will have to
Correct.
journal up what
Correct.
their experience
Correct.
is, right?
Correct. So we used to make these journals, and Swiggy gave us a very good order. They gave us about 20,000 journals order as a New Year gift they want to give employees. And again, that created another big market for us in journal segment.
So, but you were branding yours all
Yeah,
over, saying
yeah,
that it's Rescript.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, did anybody look at it and come to you saying that, oh, I looked at
Yep.
this gift from
Yep.
Swiggy?
Yep.
Would you be able to do something for us?
I think the case here was better in schools. We what do you say, gave our notebooks for schools, right? So one of the few parents called. I saw my son's notebook. I want to use your paper in my office.
Oh, that was a better.
That was also kind of a good, where parents came and asked.
So, tell me, how big is this paper market?
So just notebooks alone would be, notebooks I'm saying, is 6,000 crores. And
Wow.
copier paper would be somewhere in 30, 40,000 crore.
Wow,
It's a
staggering
huge
number.
Yeah. Just as per my study research survey, 36,000 crore reams of paper were used in the, on an average per year.
And this is when a large part of India is also not formal.
Yeah, exactly. So a company like Accenture is a startup, is a tech company, right? They use 75,000 to 80,000 reams per annum. Just one company. So you can.
Did you tell them?
I did. We are trying to get them to switch to our paper. But I'm saying a software company also uses so much paper.
I think there was an attempt many years ago when I was working in one of these companies that we should attempt to be a paperless organization, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, you set up a lot of paperless technologies where email, you mail each other presentations.
Correct.
But then you ended up putting printers and it's so easy for you to print
Yep.
that you're printing for no reason.
Correct.
Other than to have a copy which we are so used to.
Yeah.
Now we have devices all over.
Yep.
There is a lesser need for us to print because
Absolutely.
it is available on a device near you. You have iPad,
Absolutely.
phones, computers, right? But I don't think this paperless organization is just a myth.
Yeah, I feel the same way, sir. Honestly, it's always.
I'm sure you have to believe in that because that's the market you're going to sell to anyway. Right.
But it's a lot more assuring when you read content on paper, right? We are being mentored by Mr. Chandas, who happens to be our mentor through NSRCEL's, our incubation also. So he's the founding CEO of ITC Classmate, right?
Oh.
So he mentors us, and he told me people used to ask me the same thing. In 95, they used to ask me, why are you starting a new stationery line in ITC when everything's going digital? And he said, look at now, paper manufacturing has doubled. Rather, people do use a lot of final drafts, and a hospital can't function without paper.
Yes.
They have to get these reports to be sent to another room. Maybe a doctor prints out something to go into the scanning room. These kind of mid-transactional, it's all by paper, right? And we recently met with a very large builder, Divyashri, and she was telling me that, the MD has to look at paper drafts in the end. He is not going to sign anything unless it is on paper, touch, feel, read.
Well, it's the same with me. I can't read on
Digital.
Digital. It depends. As in, if it's a crime novel or some kind of a travel story, I don't mind reading on a device.
Yeah.
But if it is an academic paper or a non-fiction related to my work,
Correct.
I prefer a
Correct.
printed copy because sometimes I can write
Right.
write my thoughts,
Yeah.
put a post-it
Correct.
note on it.
Correct.
It is far more
Yeah.
comfortable. As in, even from a
Yeah.
mental satisfaction point of
Yeah.
view, that you're holding a object in front of you, which is
Correct.
paper,
Correct.
right? So I've been reading up these new devices that are like paper,
Yep. Ink and
ink and
yeah.
color. I'm looking at them. They're currently 40,000, not available in India as red.
Yeah.
But I am eyeing those products, saying that, oh, it looks like paper, you can write on it.
Correct.
But yeah, that is the final frontier for even the tech products, that they need to look like a paper.
Correct. No, they are amazing products, no doubt. In fact, I did a lot of research in e-ink to see if we can release a Rescript e-ink tablet, if it makes sense, right? If we had to catch up with AI and all of that. But I think they're more complementary, sir.
Okay.
These tablets are there, they are a little more expensive to use, but paper has its own benefits. The ease of flipping back and seeing and referring and
Yes,
these kind
that
of,
for sure. Like going back is
yeah.
much easier. So now that you said it's a very large market size, who controls this particular paper industry?
Oh, they're big players. We have JK, we have TNPL, ITC. ITC is one of the biggest paper manufacturers. They do ITC boards apart from the stationery supplies. So they supply to packaging industries and everything. So they're large players. And not nobody should get us wrong. We're not saying our paper is derived from paper made from trees, right? So we're not saying it's just that we're not cutting trees and everything. We come here and say let's use paper more efficiently. So paper can be recycled 6-7 times, but doesn't happen so.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, probably once or twice. So we want to add more layers into recycling.
So
That's our
create a
end
more
goal.
circular economy.
That's it. That's our end goal. It's not like we're not going to say, oh, cutting trees is bad and that's for paper. No, we have limited resources. Let's make the most of it.
No. I think we have a very wrong notion of forest
Yeah.
as not being, we shouldn't cut
Yeah.
forest. I think wood is one of the most regenerative
Yes.
product, right?
Yeah.
It's unlike, let's say, metal that we are digging out
Correct.
from earth and we're using it up, and there is very little regeneration of it. Forests are regenerative. If you plan things out,
Correct.
you can always have wood, you can always have paper, but you're basically saying that increase the cycle
Cycle of
for new
using.
wood to come in.
Absolutely.
Great. So where would you want to go now that things are going well? There's tailwinds.
Yeah.
You're moving quite fast. Where would you want to go in the coming years?
For the brand, personally, my desire was always to build a consumer brand that is a national brand, something known to people. They should recognize Rescript as a product. And that is something I'm really working hard, me and my co-founder, in fact, that is our goal. We have set another goal in the environmental to save about 6 crore liters of water by 2025 because our paper consumes less than 50% of a normal paper used. So we have these few goals that we've set on the environmental basis or for the brand. And for me, as a personal goal, I don't know, I've always thought I should do something so well that I could be part of the distinguished alumni list of IIM. I think that'll be my biggest reward if it does happen. But that is one goal of mine.
Okay. So, but one of the things that is very evident is when you create a new category
Yes.
and there is money to be made in this category, you need to build moats for others
Yep.
to protect yourself from others coming in,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So, what are the kind of moats that you're building?
So in our case, like I said, the way we've created this paper, it is a little hard to recreate because of the kind of paper that we use.
If you could have done it, somebody else can do, no?
No, it does take a lot of trials. It puts a halt on manufacturing. It can happen. I'm not saying it can't, but it takes a lot of time and resources to do it. So someone who's willing to do that, of course, could enter the market. But end of the day, we are happy, right? It is somehow contributing to the environment, creating a bigger market size. I don't think there's any fun in being the only company doing the same thing, right? We need to have more people in this.
So, how did you raise money for this?
So we're bootstrapped so far.
Really?
Yeah, we've been bootstrapped. We just received a seed fund from NSRCEL, Startup India Seed Fund, but we have not diluted anything. That's more of a debt funding.
So which you're going to give back
Very soon.
Yes, okay.
But we are bootstrapped. It's we invested, me and Naren invested less than 5 lakhs each.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, and we recovered our money, and last year we've clocked 4 crores of turnover, and we're seeing, I think this year we're easily going to project 10 crores of revenue.
Started with
Less than 10 lakhs.
less than 10 lakhs
Yeah.
and a good contact,
Yeah.
and that's what, and then your ability to knock on doors.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so tell me something about this co-founder thing, because in quite a bit of research,
Yeah.
right? Co-founders is a very tricky thing.
Yeah.
And especially if co-founders are friends.
Yeah.
So there are any number of cases that we have had in the history where we have seen that co-founding, because hey, I like hanging out with you, so I'm going to be, it's going to be fun,
Yeah.
right? But things don't pan out that way. So have you all had a discussion in terms of who's going to do what, how the rewards are going to be split? So how do you do that?
Absolutely. I think both of us bring good strengths into the organization, and fortunately, they're not overlapping. So the conflict comes when you have something that's overlapping in decision making, right? So my co-founder Naren, his strength lies a lot in administration, financing, and operations, these things, and I do not interfere in any of that. And I'm very particular on branding, product, marketing, and sales, and this where he doesn't come in. So we each have our own strengths that we play with. We're very complementary, touchwood. We're very complementary to each other. Yes, there do come disagreements, but we've both established that if there are disagreements or any arguments, we both know it's for the best of the company. We're not going to take what he said is wrong or what I said is wrong. It's a discussion at the end of the day, and we're very clear about that.
But you have had fights that kind of end up saying, get lost your bugger.
No, sir.
Not yet.
Fortunately, not to that extent.
Because you tend to be also very easy with your very close friend.
Correct.
That you can throw your words around.
Yeah, we have that rapport, of course.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's gotten to the seriousness of saying, I'm done.
Okay. So what's common across both of you? Because what people tend to look at when you're looking at co-founders is that there's complementarity in your capability.
Yeah.
But for you not to get to say get lost,
Yeah.
there has to be certain commonality. Right? So what is common across both of you all?
So I honestly think it's that we both look out for each other a lot. I honestly look out for him a lot. Anything says that Naren, this, I will not allow that. And it's the same for him. So I think the interest of protecting each other in business, or if not business as a friendship, has gotten a good essence in.
So what is it that you like about him and he likes about you, which kind of holds both of you all together?
I think I respect a lot the few things that he can do, I can't do. So it may be from recovering our payments, receivables. He's very thing on that. He's so adamant on making sure we get money, even if it is DMart or if it is anyone, if they're not paying. He would go to the CEO's office. He did that for one big organization. I don't want to name them. Very big organization. They were not paying. He went to their cabin. And for me, it was like, we'll lose the client. Don't do it, But I gave him that space. I understood. I respected his thoughts on, you can take that call. So it's similar for me. A lot of branding decisions or any product decisions, which he may not like, he will let go.
But you all are doing this without a discussion, right? Did you all discuss saying that?
Yeah, we keep each other informed.
No, I mean to say that here is what you're going to be taking decisions.
Yeah.
Here is what. So who's the CEO?
He's the CEO.
Oh, he's the CEO.
He's the CEO.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
I don't want that role.
Okay, why not?
I'm more interested in building the brand.
Like maybe when you're like 3 crores, 5 crores, that role doesn't matter. What if you're like 500 crores? And he's getting all the limelight, he's getting all the pictures being taken, flashed on nice big magazines, and you are working around, you're the ones making money. Do you think at that point of time there will be a conflict?
No, I think I voluntarily, willingly would say you be the CEO, be the front runner, and I would sit back. Maybe.
So you'll have taken decisions where say that you take a call.
Yeah.
So what are the decisions that he lets you take a call saying that, okay, I'm going to believe what you say?
Right. If anything comes to customer relations, product, just making the product or anything in the printing side, the manufacturing side of that, those part, and even in a lot of sales, if there are few negotiations where it's quite crucial, I do take calls there as well, and of course his own clients he does the same, and I do the same. So we've had that. I think it's not structured or specific, but we have that understanding to know that that's yours. And
But have you seen any other co-founder team not do well that you thought would
I
do
have
well?
absolutely.
Okay.
I have, and I've seen them struggle. I've seen people not work come out of it, uh, but I've seen successful ones also. Yeah, it's
So
been.
do you all talk in the sense these are the game plans, or you let everything come organically, or you have a game plan
No, we
saying that?
do have a game plan. We kind of review what we did last month, the previous month, and how to go about next. We do come up with
So how do you hire people?
oh, a
Because you're
lot
a
of
startup, like nobody wants to join a startup. You're not a tech product.
correct.
He gets a good product, a nice product, but this is not going to get them to AI, ML, and some
Yeah,
of these things that they would like to get to. So
correct.
how do you hire
A
people?
lot of people who want to work with us, in fact, come from creative spaces. You won't believe
Aha.
our social media head is a lawyer. He studied law. He
Why is he
joined
doing this?
us when he was doing law, and he stuck with us after he finished graduation. And he's doing everything. He's with us even to date.
Why is he doing it? In the sense,
He,
he didn't like being a lawyer.
I don't know, but I think he thought this was more interesting and had a better. And there's a lot of scope for creativity, which he loved. We do have other people working with
I
us.
guess a lot of creative people get extremely energized when they look at paper, right?
Absolutely. Stationery brings in a lot
Stationery,
of
right?
yeah,
Right. I've been to the stores in Japan where there are like 5 or 6 stories
yep,
of
Muji and all that. Yeah,
yep, stores which have tons and tons of paper,
absolutely.
right? So coming back to your co-founder thing, you all have decided these are the things that you're going to be good at, those are the things that he's going to be good at,
Yes,
and that's continuing.
yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
There's a question that I wanted to ask you that I seem to have forgotten in the interim. Okay. In what way has being at NSRCEL been of advantage to you?
A lot, sir. I really think the growth which we had this year, I have to give a lot to NSRCEL. To give you an insight, like the previous financial year, we did 1.5 crores in revenue, and this year we've done 4 CR. A lot has been because one of the funds that we received, the seed fund, of course, did help us with more inventory and pushing out the product more. Then our mentor, Mr. Chandas, who being in the same industry, who's built the biggest brand classmate in India for stationeries, is showing us this route on how do you tackle this industry. When it came to school season, he guided us so well on when you have to start paper, for which region you have to start printing ready, and these insights helped us a lot. So apart from that, even when I was part of Velocity, the sessions that we've had, the network that we built, all of this was of great benefit to.
So how did you find NSRCEL?
I was part of
Oh, YLP. Right,
YLP.
right. Yeah.
But apart from that, I think a previous cohort member referred us. He was into corporate gifting, and we were giving our products. So he referred saying, join Velocity, and who would not want to be incubated in NSRCEL? So I took the first
Well,
chance.
nice to know. There are a lot who don't want to be in this part of the world, Banerghatta, getting through all this metro. So let me go back to your YLP.
Yeah,
Right, that's been of interest because I'm kind of interested in
yeah,
online education.
yeah,
That was an experiment that we did.
yeah.
So what was good about it?
YLP, I think, brought in a lot of focus in me. I didn't know what to do after Express Feast, after my
So
previous.
YLP, was it synchronous classroom, live classroom, or recorded?
We had both.
So you all had both.
We had both. We had modules online, we had modules offline.
No, not offline. I meant to say when you're looking at the video, was the video a live classroom or was it recorded?
No, there were both in that also.
Okay.
We had both. We had pre-recorded, we had live classroom sessions also.
And what part of the program was pre-recorded? Large part of it was
A
pre-recorded.
large. The IMBX part
Yes.
largely is the pre-recorded content that we used to consume. But in between, we did have live classes. We also had in-campus classes, and they were the best ones.
In class.
In class, yeah.
No, but that's not what I want to hear.
Yeah.
What I really want to hear is how do you make online better? Because I think that's the future, or at least something that we are attempting to do.
Correct.
Is how do you make offline more attractive?
How do you make offline more attractive?
Yes. So which part of offline was like interesting for you in terms of your value, saying that, oh, I didn't know this?
So I think offline for me is still the better.
So not offline, sorry, online.
Online, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Online it did get interesting. So I was a person who used to take these courses in edX just to, stay in touch with some new course, build your knowledge, right? And that's where I was introduced to IMBX also. And it was good for me because the teaching modules, it had a lot of interactive sessions after that, like after class, right? It could be question and answer, it could be discussion points. And we had built our own, through ILP, we had our own class network. So
But that was across the country.
No, it was only for.
No, so YLP participants were across the country.
Correct.
So you all were interacting.
Yep, absolutely.
Digitally
as well.
Okay. Yeah. So let me put you on the spot.
Yeah.
And say which part of the online course that you did that you still remember, that I remember this lesson.
I remember this lesson. I think we had one lesson for. It was not an elaborated case, but with strategic management about Southwest Airlines. That was something was quite.
Reggie was doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. But that was synchronous, I'm sure.
Yeah. It was a mix of both.
Okay.
But yeah, you did put me on the spot.
So we just told Reggie, don't do Southwest anymore for some of those other things, saying that, look, people are complaining it's such an old case. But probably I tell him that of the entire course, you remembered his case.
Yep.
So maybe he'll have some emanation to go back to people who are saying change them.
I really hope he does.
Okay. Yeah. So great. Nice talking to you. All the best. And hope to see you succeed more. And I really wish for a paper product from India to be a desired product in Japan. I think that will be your absolute ultimate glory in terms of the Japanese folks wanting journal, right? So wishing you lots of luck.
Thank you so much.
See you around.
Thank you so much, sir.